We are live.
Hello, everybody. Please let us know how the sound is.
Yes. First things first, always. I think that was a notification saying we're live. Hello, everybody. Yes, like Rachel says, let me know if you can hear me through this microphone.
And if you can hear me through this one.
Yeah.
Someone had told Sam that I needed to be mic'd better, so we used a different mic, so...
In fact, tap your microphone. Let's see.
I tapped it.
Okay, so if you hear that tap, let us know. I guess you could pull up your...
Yeah, I have it on there.
You could pull up the video itself, the live stream, and listen to yourself.
Not next to my microphone.
No, feedback.
That's bad.
Well, hello, everybody. Thank you guys for joining us today. We just decided yesterday that it's been a while. I think we say this every time, don't we?
We do. I don't know why we don't have, like, scheduled in advance.
Yeah, we're the
put on a
worst
calendar.
YouTube channel on the planet.
I wouldn't say that. But not the best.
Not the best, not the most efficient. But yeah, we decided yesterday we needed to do a live stream. And since we are kidless right now, Skylar, our daughter, is at a summer program for 3 weeks. So we're like, hey, let's go ahead and do it. Perfect time.
Yep.
Yeah. So we put out the call to everyone on like Twitter and Facebook and other places here on YouTube to ask for suggestions, video or topic suggestions that we could talk about. So we got a few, but if you are in the chat, and I will probably make an announcement here a little bit later too when more people get in, and there's something you want to talk about, let us know. You got any questions? Happy to answer those. Happy to address them.
And give your best blind jokes.
Yes, one of the suggestions was blind jokes. I know my favorite blind jokes. So you guys let us know in the chat also what your favorite jokes are.
I see in the chat, Molly said that we're very quiet. So
okay.
I don't know if that's when we weren't really talking very loud when we very first came on. So I don't know if it's that or if we needed to turn it up. So please let us know if we do need to turn things up, because you can do that, right?
Yes, and it may be I've got it turned halfway volume on here through the streaming software, and that's probably what it is. So.
Yeah, so let us know if we need to turn it up. And I'm going to apologize right now. I had COVID a few weeks ago. I still have a cough. I feel totally fine, but I still have a cough. So I will try to cover my mouth and get away from the mic before I go into a coughing fit. But please bear with me.
Yes.
Oh, gosh, there's like 50 people in here already.
All right. I'm going to do this real quick.
Do what?
Bring up the stream here, and so I can hear it as well.
Oh, okay.
Real quick. Okay, I'll crank it up a little bit. It could stand to go a little higher, so that should be better. You should be hearing us more now.
Okay.
All right.
I'm going to go and look at where all did you post this, and I can go look at all those different social media spots and see what people commented.
The Blind Life Facebook page.
Okay.
Facebook.com/The Blind Life. The Blind Life Twitter. Twitter.com/
I'm not going to be able to do that.
I don't The Blind Life Sam.
I don't need to have Twitter on my phone.
Oh, goodness.
I know.
And then the community page here on YouTube. So first things first, somebody did request our favorite blind jokes. And I don't have a ton of blind jokes because, honestly, a lot of them are just dumb. In preparation, I Googled blind jokes, and Google told me, Rachel, fun fact, did you know that bats aren't actually blind?
No.
Yeah, that's why they can hit the baseballs so well.
Oh, my Lord.
I know. See, they're just dumb jokes. And there's a lot of stuff like, how did the blind guy drive a car? One hand on the wheel, the other hand on the road. I just I don't know. They're not clever at all.
No.
There are a couple I do like though. Rachel, how do you tell the blind person at the nudist colony?
How?
It's not hard.
Oh my lord. Sam, that's inappropriate for the channel.
It's a good joke, though.
Gosh.
So, yes, if you think you have a better blind joke, let me know in the chat.
Let's keep it, you know,
Okay, I got another one.
PG-13 at least.
Why don't blind people skydive?
Why?
It scares the dogs. That's another good one.
Okay, you want me to read you some of the things from Facebook?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so there's two on here. One of them is traveling with a child as a blind or low vision parent, which did you ever travel solo? Oh yeah, you did. You did more than once, didn't you? You flew down.
We went down to Alabama.
To Alabama once with Jacob and then once with Skylar, right?
Yeah, yeah. And I mean, there's no real magic, or no real secret to it. It's really about creating your systems. Having your systems, and you've got children, and you do go places with children or by yourself, or need to keep up with children independently. So you have systems set up already, I'm sure. Every blind parent has their own little systems. The kids know that they need to let mommy or daddy know when when they want to leave their side or go somewhere. There's little things like that. And so you just kind of implement those systems. I do have a video, or a couple of videos. I have a playlist about traveling, and I have a video called Independent Travel for the Visually Impaired, something like that. And that one, I go through all of my tips and tricks for traveling on transit, like airplanes, subways, buses, all of that kind of stuff. And I even wear a GoPro, and I document my whole process going through an airport and asking for help. And when I get to my gate, how I use landmarks and different techniques to make sure I know where my gate is. If I wanted to go to the restroom or something by myself, I can find my way back. And so a lot of that stuff will be helpful for travel in general. I've got a video on really cool way to mark your luggage to make it easier to find. So I would definitely watch that. But then, like I said, it's just a lot of implementing your systems that you probably already have set up. Didn't we go when Skylar was really little, we had her on the leash through one airport? Did we ever do that?
I don't think so.
Or was that? No, I think that was Tawny.
We didn't fly when she was... I don't think we flew anywhere when she was really little.
I think I'm thinking of my sister with her son.
Oh.
So they have those. They have those little kid leashes.
I mean, I wouldn't think that was a bad idea if they're really young.
Yeah.
By the time you flew with Skylar, she was old enough to not walk away from you.
Yeah, and the great thing is, once they're to that certain age, they're super helpful when traveling. Reading gate numbers and helping you find seats, and finding your seat on the airplane, all of that stuff, super helpful.
Okay, sorry, we have a whole bunch of
wear bright clothing
here. For some reason it didn't update on my phone, and then I came back and there's like a lot. So
cool.
Tons of people commenting, which is freaking awesome. People said they can hear us. Oguz, and I'm sorry, I probably didn't say that right, said, "Hey, I'm your longtime follower from Amsterdam here, this time joining from San Antonio, Texas. Just traveled here a few days ago from Amsterdam on my own with my 9-year-old.
Awesome.
So that is,
there you go.
That's really cool.
Maybe you can give some tips.
Yeah.
International travel.
Franny Smith is in here. I think she was on your members only chat.
Yep, Franny joined us for the members only live Zoom call this month, and Franny is the winner of one of our giveaways.
Yeah.
Nice to see her on here as well.
Mike Wheeler's in here, Coda Gray, Joe Corrales, Kim Lackey, a lot of our
regulars.
Our regulars, which I love. Randall Hyatt just asked, what was the cane that you ran over with a car, and how do you feel about that, the no jab cane? Is it still worth picking it up?
So I ran over the no jab and then just a traditional aluminum cane. He sent it to me. It was probably Ambutech, but I'm not going to go on record and say it definitely was an Ambutech cane, but it was aluminum. And I still think the no jab is fantastic. I always have to preface it by saying I'm not an O&M specialist. So O&M specialists who are they do training and all of that for mobility training, they may have a different opinion. But for me, I thought it was really cool. I actually just sent the No Jab link to a person in an email this morning. And so it's being sold through Ambutech now. And so when you go to Ambutech's website, in fact, their landing page is all about the No Jab cane. So it seems to be a pretty good item for them. I liked it a lot. It's a little pricey. You have to go into it understanding it's like $70, which is pricey for a cane. But
it does what it's supposed to do, though.
It does what it's supposed to do. It does it really well. I'm kind of proud in the fact that I helped shape the development of that. It's a much better product based on the recommendations I gave them. But now that it's partnered up with Ambutech, it's going to be really high quality also.
Some Joker Alice said that her favorite blind joke is to say "Welcome to my world" anytime people say they can't see something.
Yeah.
Molly is from Montreal in here. Trudy with Sneezy the bobtailed cat is in here and said watching
Nice.
from Cynthiana, Kentucky.
Oh, cool.
So not too far away.
Yeah.
Still making it through everything here.
Welcome, everybody.
Yeah. There's so many people.
Finishing off my morning coffee from like 4 hours ago.
Mike Wheeler said, Rachel, I just wanted to say I'm glad that you're feeling better, and how dare Sam leave you alone during your time of need. I have to say, though, I dropped him off at the airport that morning and felt fine.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't feel fine. I felt a little like, ugh, but we'd also just gotten back from traveling and stuff, so I didn't think anything of it. It was literally within just a couple hours of him leaving that I really started feeling bad. So he would have left anyway. It was an important trip. He needed to go, and I would have told him to go, but
I felt bad too.
he did feel bad. He checked in on me a lot.
Plus, it was such an amazing trip, and I felt horrible. I felt guilty. I was experiencing this really cool experience, and then Rachel was at home, deathly ill.
It wasn't deathly ill, but I did feel.
She felt
cruddy.
deathly ill.
Yeah. Molly said, I've really enjoyed the OmniSense tip. It turned out to be great in the slush and snow this winter.
Oh.
Which you've not used it in the slush or snow, have you?
No. I try to stay out of the slush and snow as much as possible. I did a video. I recorded a video. We went to the beach last summer, and I recorded clips of testing out a bunch of different tips on the sand. The OmniSense was one, just a regular ball tip, all of this, and the Dakota Disc was another one. And the Dakota Disc worked fantastically. It worked perfect in sand. And then but then when I got home, I realized the microphone wasn't working, so it's no audio.
Couldn't you just
Voiceover.
Voiceover?
Yeah, I probably will. It was also really.
It's like a year old.
It's also really blown out. I still haven't quite got the grasp on exposure quite yet, but.
Well, plus we were on the beach where it's super, super bright and stuff.
But then I tested it in the snow this past winter, and it works really, really well in snow too. So yeah, I need to kind of put together that video and release it.
Okay. Ogu said, I guess my question is mostly about how to set limits with your child, especially on a 22-hour flight. And I think that really doesn't have anything to do with being blind as much as just being a parent on a long flight with a child, which we have never flown on that long of a flight with our kids. All of us have, not a 22-hour flight. All of us have flown internationally, but not. Gosh, we've never done it together.
Never together.
We've all been completely away from the rest of the family when we've traveled internationally, which is kind of weird. Even Skylar.
That is tough, though.
I don't have good tips for you.
No, we just went when we were in Orlando for that conference. There was a gentleman there who he was from England, and he came over, and then his family came over the next day, and then which is his wife and his son, who's about 6 or 7, I think, and then. They were only there, the wife and the son were only there for like 2 or 3 days, and then they flew back. And I'm like, gosh, that is a long way to come just for essentially a weekend. And I thought about that. I'm like, what does a kid do for that long of a flight? I mean, there's only so many movies and stuff before they're just like bored.
Yeah.
And just go wander the plane. Go see what the captain's doing.
Randall Hyatt said a teacher of mine said not to use the OmniSense tip. She felt like it was for children.
Oh, I don't know.
I wonder if that's an O&M teacher. I mean, I think there's a time and a place for it for sure. If you are what's it called, a tap
2-point touch,
a 2-point touch cane user, it is absolutely not for you. That is not the tip for you. But for Sam, for the way he uses his cane, it works quite well.
Yeah, and I said that in my video that even for constant contact back and forth, it's kind of heavy and it's gonna give your forearm a workout. But yeah, the way I use it, it works fantastic for me. I use it almost every day.
Okay, let me go back to Facebook. Linda Gale said, dealing with fully sighted people. Example, those with loss of central vision may not recognize others or can't read fine print or drive, etc. But the average public does not understand as all they see is a person fully functional in most situations. This leads to problems of being accused of scamming the system for disability.
Yeah, I mean, that's why I wore my I can see but I can't shirt today, because of that very question. That's the whole reason I made this shirt years and years ago. Well, you know, I've said it before that is one of the number one problems that us with low vision have, especially if you're kind of riding the fence, I always say, with one foot in the blind world, one foot in the sighted world. And that's where I always say that I think the cane comes in super handy in all those situations. You know, a lot of people still think that, you know, I don't need the cane because I don't need it for mobility. I'm not running into things. I'm not, you know, bumping into doorways and stuff like that. And you got to remember that's only like 25% of what the cane is used for is for mobility. I'd say the majority of it is identification for those types of situations. It just comes in so handy. It helps out so much for those types of, you know, situations. For me, like going into restaurants, anytime Rachel drives me somewhere and I go in to do something, I always want to take my cane because it just solves a lot of problems.
Yeah, it makes it easier and saves you from embarrassing situations.
Yeah.
And I would say also, like you made the comment about like that you're scamming disability or whatever. I mean, if they're talking about like getting disability, Social Security or something, people don't need to know that. You don't have to, you know.
No.
And to me, anyone close enough to you to know that you're, you know, using disability to help you in your life, they should know you well enough to know where your disabilities lie. I mean, and I personally think it's the best thing always when someone does that is to try to educate them. But I know there's also days where you just don't feel like it, and it's not your responsibility. It absolutely is not your responsibility. But I do think that, though I know if it were me, and it's not me because I'm not visually impaired, but Sam, you know me, I would get mad. I know I would, and I would have to bite my tongue all the time because I have to bite my tongue frequently as it is. So it would definitely be hard for me. But I do think that if you can try to be like, hey, blindness is a spectrum. I can see this, but I can't see this. And anyone that you ever see that's blind, very few of them are fully 100% can't see anything at all. It's just not that many people.
Yeah, it's tough. I know. I was thinking about that the other day when I was walking to work, and I had my cane out because I walk on the sidewalk, and we live in a college town. There's oftentimes kids riding bikes. I work very near campus. There's oftentimes students riding bikes on the sidewalk, and so, or if I have to cross a street, I want people to be aware of me, that I may not see them not until it's too late. So I want them to be aware of me first. So I use my cane, even though I don't need it for the route. I know where all the bumps are. I know where all the curbs are, all of that. But as I was walking, I saw a police officer drive by me. And I thought to myself, I wonder what they think. Like, you know, here I am. Oftentimes I'm using my phone because I listen to audiobooks when I walk. And I might be looking at my phone and swiping through the audiobook. But they think, well, there's a blind guy with a cane, but he's using a phone, so he must not be blind. I always, that situation runs through my head. Am I going to get stopped and accused of faking being blind? And so, anyway.
Yeah. You really haven't before, though, have you?
No. And even in that situation, there's no law against someone using a cane out in public. The law is, so impersonating a blind person, the law comes into play if you try to get services that way. If you try to impersonate a blind person to get services from the government, that sort of thing. That's when it's illegal. But anybody can walk down the street with a cane. Immoral, yes. A really jerky thing to do, yes, but not illegal technically. So.
This is very interesting. Mackenzie Parker said, "Did you guys know that there is a Chrome extension that will read chat out loud? That way, all you have to do is answer the questions, and you don't have to always keep track."
Ah, no.
Could you tell us, Mackenzie, the name of this Chrome extension? Because
this magical Chrome extension.
That would be pretty awesome, and I'm sure not just for us. I'm sure there's other people in here that would really like that too, or maybe everyone else is using it, and we're just the only ones that are unaware.
No, I get that question quite a bit. How do you read chat if you're visually impaired? And I say that's why Rachel originally started helping me with all the live streams and things like that, was to read chat.
Yeah, otherwise the whole video would be you with your face right up against.
Yeah, like this.
Which, enough of the videos that way anyway.
Just long stretches of quiet as I'm trying to read, zoomed in. But now I'm happy to say that Rachel has become a fixture. Have become a personality on the channel.
Yeah. Isabella said, "My question to you is, did you have Braille displays in your high school years? You don't know Braille, do you?"
No, I'm not a Braille user. Never have been. I don't really plan on ever learning Braille. For me personally, knock on wood, my vision is still good enough that I mainly rely on magnification. And so Braille wouldn't really help me in any situations other than like easily using the elevator, or an easier way to find hotel rooms. If I could just reach up and feel the Braille and like, oh, there it is, that'd be great. But no, I'm not a Braille user, and just don't plan to be.
Coda Gray said, "In some ways it's easier not having usable vision, in other ways it's more challenging." You definitely don't deal with the "I'm blind but I'm not." It's complicated thing. I can see but I can't. It's complicated. But
yeah.
In other ways, yeah. I mean, you really depend a lot on your usable vision.
Yeah, I did that interview with Justin Bishop, the blind skateboarder, and that's something he mentioned, is that when he started to lose his vision, he said it was really, really difficult for him to deal with it until he got to the point where he didn't really have any usable vision anymore, and then it was just easy after that.
Do you think part of it was that just he had that constant dread of, what am I going to do? When's it going to go? Like, the unknown, the fear of the unknown, maybe.
Maybe, but it is frustrating, constantly living with, I've got enough vision to see things around me, but I can't see anything. I can't really see anything. I can tell, there's something on my desk here, but I can't really see it. It's frustrating. It's like one way or the other. Come on, pick a side. It would be easier one way or the other.
Yeah. Faith Shelton said, "My husband gets frustrated when people ask him what I need. He's like, ask her. She's blind, not deaf." I'm usually pretty good. Rachel gets upset, and I've done this long enough that stuff doesn't really bother me that much anymore. But I've kind of snapped at TSA people before. I made a video, that traveling video. I talked about it, where the guy, I was walking, someone was helping me find my gate, and we go through TSA, and the security guy walks up, and I see out of the corner of my eye, my peripheral is still pretty good, so I see the guy I'm walking with point to his eyes like he's blind. And the security guy starts talking to the other dude. Mind you, he's a foot away, right next to me. Like, we're almost touching shoulders. And the security guy is about 2 feet in front of us. And he's like, "Is he wearing a belt? Does he have any electronics in his bag?" I said, "Excuse me, sir, you can talk to me. I'm standing right here." "Oh, I'm so sorry, sir. You're absolutely right." Like, oh, rude. Not to mention, you're not blind. Why are you asking if I'm wearing a belt?
I know, yeah. You see a belt? Wait a minute, I'm not wearing a belt?
V-Team Paranormal said, "I had a cop tell me my white cane was a weapon and tried to take it away from me. Thankfully, a good person educated him." That's crazy.
Yeah, I've thought about that too, a situation like that as well. I've seen like some body cam footage. I saw one where a guy was Oh, he was picking up trash with like a one of those grabbers, little gopher grabber type things, and he got stopped by the police and questioned, and it was a mistaken identity thing, but they kept telling him, drop the weapon, drop the weapon. He's like, it's a little claw made out of aluminum. This isn't a weapon. And I thought at the time, I'm like, yeah, gosh, I wonder if they would do that with a blind person in their cane, or if like you had to get out of the car, like you were a passenger and they asked you to get out and you pulled your cane out, would they make you can't have that out, put that away.
Yeah.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I wonder how that would go. Someone's just asking what's the best computer for visually impaired. I don't think the computer itself is as important as just utilizing the software, right?
Yeah, I get this question a ton, and it really doesn't matter. PCs or Macs, they both have amazing accessibility these days. It really comes down to your budget, obviously, what you're going to be using the computer for. It's more like just like anybody buying a computer based on the specs and how powerful the computer is, depending on what you need it for. The accessibility is going to be great on both of them. You're gonna be fine using the accessibility on both. Some people will say Macs are better for blindness. Some people will say PCs are better, but ultimately they both have really good accessibility. And one thing to consider though is, if you're going to be using certain softwares like JAWS, JAWS is primarily a Windows program. I think it is available on Mac, but it's like they hacked it to work on Mac or something like that. So it's mainly supported on Windows. So that's something to consider. But it really comes down to, like screen size, monitor size. If you're low vision, that's what you want to, consider how big a monitor you need.
Yeah, like for Sam, a laptop is out of the question.
Unless I connect it to another, to a monitor.
But
yeah.
I mean,
by itself, no
is,
way.
The monitor's just not big enough.
It's too small.
Okay. Oguz said, do you still prefer physical magnifier over the phone?
Yeah. I mean, I've got my little Eschenbach here.
Brand new one.
She's still a little stiff, actually. She's so new. And then the light actually works on this one. If I can find the button, there it is. So the battery hasn't worn out yet. So I use my magnifier for just about anything. If I need digital magnification, I actually don't use the phone. I'm very fortunate that I have access to actual digital magnifiers, and I will use that. If it's something that I need to read, I have a CCTV here, but I actually usually just throw it into my work bag and take it into the office and use one of the CCTVs there while I'm at the office to read it.
Why? Just because it's already set up, and that way you don't have the CCTV permanently set up here.
Right. Yeah, it's already set up, and it's just easy. It's right there by my desk. But yeah, I don't use the phone magnification very much at all.
I will say, and he hates when I tell people this, but there are times that he's not the best about using. He has more assistive tech in this house than probably almost anybody.
Some
he's
AT
very
stores.
Fortunate for that. I mean, he doesn't get to keep everything that he's done. A lot of it he sends back, but he's been doing this for years now, so he's amassed a decent collection. And there are still times that I'm like, no, I'm not going to read it for you. Go use your stuff. Like, come on.
Yeah. Above all others, I prefer wife assistance over any kind of magnification.
Joshua Sickles wants to know if you've ever used an electric pressure washer, and I don't think you have.
No, I actually a company reached out to me and asked if I wanted to review a pressure washer, and I always try. I get requests like this from these random companies, have nothing to do with the blind community, and I usually turn them down. But then every now and then I'm like, well, we could actually use a pressure washer. I got some moldy sidewalks that need to be cleaned, so yeah, okay, I'll do a video about it. And they never got back to me, so I think it was a scam. I get a lot of spam emails like that too.
Yeah, and I don't understand what the scam is, I guess, either. But
I don't either. Yeah. What do they get from me replying to their email?
Yeah, it's kind of weird.
Other than my email is probably on a list somewhere now.
Where's that? Oh, Mackenzie said the Chromebook extension, or the Chrome extension is called YouTube Live Text-to-Speech or something along those lines. You can find it on Chrome. You'll find it on your computer.
All right, I'm making a note.
Okay. Molly said, have you had your text-to-speech voice on your Android go wonky before? At one point, it sounded like it was possessed. About a week ago, it sounded like it had laryngitis. Have you ever had that?
Hold on, I can't type and talk at the same time. Yeah, I'm not happy with my Samsung TalkBack right now. I don't know if it's a bug, but I did see they just updated TalkBack on my Samsung. But I've got the Samsung Galaxy S10 Plus, and I can't turn the TalkBack volume down. It won't go down at all. And I talked to some other AT people, and they were able to do it on theirs, and it wouldn't do it on mine. So I think it's a Samsung bug or something. And then it just doesn't want to read hardly anything. Like, I go into a website and I turned it on. I tried searching for blind jokes before this video, and on my Android phone, and I turned on TalkBack, and it wouldn't read the page at all. It just wouldn't read anything. I went to the exact same page on my iPhone, and it read it. This isn't a commercial for voiceover over TalkBack. It's just sometimes it's frustrating for me. VoiceOver is equally frustrating as well. It's just sometimes TalkBack, it's like, why aren't you reading that? That should be easy for you to read. I've never had it go crazy though on me. The speech.
It never acted possessed.
No.
Joker Alice says, I love NVDA when it comes to screen readers on Windows computers. Not only is it very good, but it's also free.
Free, and you can't beat that. Like, I say it over time and time again, budget should be a big factor in deciding these things. And
that's like, it works well.
It works well, yeah. It's open source, so they're always updating it. You can get a ton of different voices for it. JAWS is great. I mean, it was originally designed for employment. Job access with speech is what it stands for, but it's like $600, you know, and so I'm sorry, no, it doesn't matter how good it is. It's $600.
Maybe I'm wrong, because you know what the different softwares do a lot better than I do, but JAWS is like if you're using like the Microsoft Office suite all day long at work, JAWS works well for that, right? Like using if you're using spreadsheets and stuff like that, or do you feel like you can use something else just as well?
I mean, they all have their little quirks. They all work. NVDA works just as well. You know, it's just like VoiceOver or TalkBack on the phones. You're going to run into things that it just doesn't work well with, and you kind of have to do some different workarounds. That's why I say, you know, I've got friends that love JAWS and say it's the best. I've got friends that love NVDA and say it's the best. It's really whatever you spend the time to learn, you're gonna be fine with. It's gonna do the job for you.
Okay, Christopher Powell is asking, Orcam or Envision, which is better?
So I think I have.
Do they do the same thing? Number one, or are they both?
They do a lot of the same things. Regarding hardware, I like Orcam better. Because Orcam just attaches via the brackets, and we're talking about Orcam My Eye, goes on the pair of glasses. It attaches by the brackets, so the brackets you can put on any side. If you're left-handed, you can put it on the left side of your glasses, and it works great. Envision is stuck on the right side, so if you're a left-hander, if you're a southpaw, you're gonna have to practice using your right hand because you cannot put it on the left side. So that's kind of a drawback right there for Envision. I haven't tested it I haven't used it since I did my review a couple years ago. So I don't know if they've changed this. I think they've updated certain things, but at the time, Envision a lot of the features didn't work offline. Even arguably one of the most important ones, the Envision Ally, where you could call someone you knew to help do something. That didn't work offline. I walked all the way out to another street in my neighborhood, and then I tried to call my daughter and to record for the video, set my camera up and everything, and tried to do it, and it said doesn't work offline. Like, oh, you got to be kidding me. So I had to pack everything up and walk home. And then I recorded it in the house. I was calling from the bedroom. So like I said, and then there's some other features that is the same thing. So unless they've changed that, I still think Orcam is better. Orcam has better OCR too. I think they've got one of the best OCRs in the game right now. It's just so good.
Elliot Tinsley said, this channel's therapeutic for me. I'm still fighting the mental denial of being visually impaired.
It's tough, man.
It's real. Right?
I did it for many years. I didn't deny it, but I wanted to hide it. I didn't want anybody else to know about it. I knew how bad it was, but I didn't want anyone else to know how bad it was.
Yeah, when I first met Sam, which has been over 20 years ago now, but I mean, we were in our 20s, and you had been visually impaired for over a decade.
Yeah.
He was still very much trying to hide it and not doing a good job of it. But he was
Don't listen to her. I was an expert.
Yeah, he was not. He was really trying to hide it, and I think you are a happier person since you came out of the blind closet.
I mean, yeah, we run into the jerks and the ignorant people every now and then. And ignorance, not in a negative, not in a malicious way. They just don't know
uninformed.
Just don't know any different. Yeah, but ultimately, it's so much easier. It's so much, I always say that pretending to be fully sighted was exhausting, because you're always on guard. You're always trying to keep up the act. Mm-hmm. You can never just be yourself. And don't get me wrong, it's not all sunshine and roses and unicorns every day, but it is much easier. But it's also, that is a process that everybody goes through, and you do have to go through it at your own pace. I would say that if it's really an issue, definitely get in touch with like groups. There's tons of peer support groups. There's groups on Facebook. You could even, talk to somebody. There's even visually impaired therapists out there who would definitely know what you're going through and could help you get through it.
One caveat I would say about online groups, which I do think are awesome, but if you find yourself in an online group that is just really negative, that might not be the right one, because I think it's hard to, if everyone is just like, oh, this is horrible, my life is, all that it's just hard to like turn out of that, I think, especially if that's like your main place to go out. I mean, I think any group will have a post here and there because it's normal. I mean, Sam has days where he's like, oh my gosh, I'm so, he gets frustrated or whatever, which is completely normal. But you just don't want to surround yourself with people that are not dealing well with it and feeling really negative about it. Yeah.
My friend Derek Daniel, he's got a YouTube channel called Life After Sight Loss. Had a website, lifeaftersightloss.com. Not sure if he still does or not. He doesn't post very much anymore on his YouTube channel, but he does have a ton of older videos that are very helpful. His channel was really dealing with the emotional side of vision loss. So you could check that out. Derek Daniel, Life After Sight Loss.
You haven't talked to him in a while, have you?
No, I need to give him a call. Yeah. See how he's doing.
He got another job and got really busy.
Yeah.
Tracy Pratt said, I just want to thank you for doing that whole segment on under cabinet lighting. My husband installed it now in our kitchen, and it helps me tremendously. It's awesome. Thank you for sharing that.
I want to put under everything lighting. I want to put lighting everywhere in the house. And then have it motion activated. Just as I'm walking, things are turning on. That'd be fantastic.
Sorry, I'm going through these still.
That's all right. You're very welcome on that. And if you haven't seen it already, we put similar lighting in our kitchen pantry.
That, I love it, and I'm not visually impaired.
Yeah. So I ran the strip lighting up the inside of the doorway around the top and back down the other side. And then I have it connected to a motion sensor down low. So whenever the door opens up, it triggers the lights, and the lights just automatically come on. And because it's going up the inside of the doorway, the inside of the frame in the pantry, it lights up every single shelf really, really well. It's fantastic. And it was easy.
Okay, sorry. I'm trying to catch up because I'm way behind on chat.
That's all right.
We got a lot of people in here. There's like 80 people in here, so.
Awesome. Any other jokes? Nobody, or I guess you would read them if you saw them.
Molly said, if it isn't already, can I suggest before your next live stream you set the chat speed to slow?
Oh, can you even do that?
I think I saw that and I was like, I don't even know what that means. and now we know. So is that, I guess that's how quickly it scrolls for everyone else.
I wonder if I can change it now. Maybe not. But yeah, we will definitely do that because Rachel would benefit from that as well. Sounds like.
Yeah. Well, I mean, on my phone, I'm on my phone. So on my phone, if I scroll up, it stays there until I scroll down, which is very helpful.
Stream settings.
Oguz is saying, how are you with handwriting? Do you still write by hand or do you only do voice memos? He pretty much only does voice memos. If he writes by hand on something, it's like a quick note, and he does it with a Sharpie, and he does it really large.
Yeah, really big. And I'm terrible at reading handwriting. I can't read handwriting anymore because I don't know. I can't figure out what it says.
Faith Shelton says, have you ever considered doing a review on professional cameras like Canon versus Nikon to see which is more accessible?
So I do have, if you haven't, it's over there. If you haven't seen, I did a video about the new Sony a7 IV that I just got recently because it's, in my own opinion, I don't think anybody's really advertising this, but the most accessible camera out right now, because it has a built-in screen reader. It's the first camera that I know of with a built-in screen reader. And they added in a bunch of other accessibility stuff, not necessarily for vision impairment, but aspects of it that make it accessible. And I plan to do a more deep dive video into those other accessibility options, and then a follow-up video to camera manufacturers in general on how you can make your cameras more accessible for us, for our community. But to answer your question, not yet. No.
Well, number one, you'd have to.
I don't have a.
Cameras are really expensive, so
yeah.
To get multiple cameras, and like I don't think Nikon is probably going to give him a camera, especially if they know that's what he's going to do the video about, because they don't have accessibility.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, I feel like Sony's the only one that does, and theirs isn't complete, right?
Right.
Mackenzie said, have you ever heard of Commentary Screen Reader for Android? It's better than TalkBack. I suggest trying out Commentary Screen Reader.
Oh, okay. I'll put that on my little note here, Commentary. See, I don't know everything. Everybody sends me emails sometimes thinking that I have the answer for everything, and there's a lot of stuff I don't even know. Like how to spell commentary. I'll read it. It's okay. Commentary screen reader.
Okay, Jane said, hi, it's first time catching a live and new to your channel. My husband is blind. What cell phone do you think seems to be the most usable? Thank you.
Was it Jane? J-A-N?
Jane, J-A-N-E, yeah.
Well, welcome, Jane, first of all.
Yeah. As like everything, it depends, right?
Yeah, so, well, first of all, let me go back to my live feed here so I can see myself. Okay. Does he need a smartphone? Some people either don't need or don't want a smartphone. They don't know how to use it. They don't have any desire to learn it, but they still need an accessible phone. So in those cases, I always recommend, my first recommendation is the Blind Shell Classic, this number 2, the second version. It's an accessible feature phone. It's not a smartphone. It's a feature phone, but it's kind of confusing. It is actually a smartphone underneath. It's running Android, but it's designed like a feature phone, the old style Nokias and stuff like that, flip phones and things like that. But it's fully accessible, large print, high contrast, screen reader, all of that. Tactile buttons, no touch screen, tons of apps and features. So really, really voice calling, voice dictation, all of that. Really great phone. There's another one that's similar but less features, very, very bare bones featured, and it's called the Mini Vision 2, M-I-N-I Vision 2. I've done reviews on both of those. There's also the Jitterbug, although most us in the AT community don't really recommend the Jitterbug because surface level, it seems like it's accessible, but it's really not. It has very bare bones accessibility. Now, if he does want a smartphone, then my philosophy has always been, my opinion on it has always been that if your vision is to a certain level, where you're going to be relying mostly on like large print, high contrast, visual, like magnification, visual things like that, visual enhancements, I always recommend Android. Android is fantastic for that because it's customizable. If you can see, I'll show you my Android here. My large clock on there, my nice big icons. You can customize it much more than you can iOS. Also, if you are kind of a techie person and you really like mobile operating systems, Android is fun. Android's a lot of fun. If you're new to smartphones, you're not very techie, or your vision is to a level where you need more screen reading, then I recommend iPhones because VoiceOver, as I mentioned before, still works better than TalkBack. TalkBack's getting better. It's really close, but it's not as good as VoiceOver. And iOS operating system is just easier to understand. It's easier to navigate. So that's kind of my thoughts on vision impairment and which smartphone would work better for what. But like I said before, the big thing also has to be budget. You know, I always say if you cannot afford a $1,300, $1,500 iPhone, doesn't matter how awesome it is. Maybe you can afford a $600 Android instead. And also never buy new.
Yeah, we never buy new phones.
No.
Well, I guess we did just buy a new phone, but we haven't in a long time.
And it was kind of a treat. You said we. I didn't buy a new phone.
Actually, you did go through the whole ordering process.
I bought it for you, yeah. I use the iPhone 12 Pro Max, and it works fine. It works fantastic. Amazing camera. You know, it's not as good as the 13, but I'm also not making like feature-length films with my iPhone. But you know, it's super powerful and all that. And this is a couple years old, so you can get this even brand new. You could get it for much cheaper. So Samsung, I'm using the Samsung Galaxy S10. I would love the 22 Ultra, but that's an expensive phone.
Okay. Mark was mentioning that a great idea for a series would be about the mental aspect of vision loss. And then he also said finding a visually impaired therapist for an interview would be great. And I was just going to say, he did that a couple of years ago. So if you look on his channel, it's been a while, but he does have an interview on there with a visually impaired therapist who was really good.
Yeah, his name's Jeremy Smith. So if you search my channel for Jeremy Smith, you'll find it, my interview with him. Totally blind therapist. Really cool guy. I think he lived in the Netherlands, actually.
Sam, have you ever thought about getting a guide dog?
Yeah, you know, people have asked this before as well. Where my vision loss is right now, I don't feel like I need a guide dog. Because I don't have any central vision, but I'm really good at scanning. You know, I scan the whole time I'm walking, so I'm using my peripheral. I'm not running into things. I'm not running into cars, stuff like that. I follow color contrast on the sidewalk, you know, between the sidewalk and the grass, so I'm not walking off the sidewalk. I need help with, I can't tell if the sidewalk is kind of buckled or, you know, if I come up to a curb, how deep the curb is. I almost hurt myself the other day. Rachel and I were walking and we came up to a curb and I thought it was a regular curb, but it was actually one of the wheelchair ramps. So I took a step thinking I was stepping up, but it was actually flat, and I came down really hard, and it's situations like that. I'm surprised I didn't like throw my back out or something. But so those situations, I would use a cane. A cane works fine for me. So for a guide dog, I just feel like I would be wasting this amazing resource on me. It's much better served for someone else that really needs it. It would be really cool to have a guide dog just for the status of it, you know, but I'm not going to do that. Those things are too expensive for me to waste like that.
James Dean says, hi, I've been a subscriber for a while, but I don't think I've said anything before now. I just wanted to say that U.S. folks can get JAWS for $90 a year for a home license.
Yeah, they just did a subscription. You're right.
That's pretty good.
James Dean?
Yes.
I love your movies.
Karen
sure he's never heard that before.
Is wondering if there's a new barcode reader or is Quest the only one? I think there's a bunch of barcode readers, aren't there?
Well, there's a bunch of apps that do barcode scanning.
Oh, I see. Yeah, I'm thinking of apps.
Yeah, there's like Orcam can do barcode. I think Envision can do. So there's a lot of devices that will do them. I don't know of any new standalone barcode scanners. Doesn't mean there aren't any. It's just I haven't seen any.
Mike was saying, so the slow motion chat, it's to where a single person can only comment in a certain amount of seconds if you have it on. Yeah, we're not having problems with that.
Oh, yeah, that's what I thought.
It's not about the scroll speed. Joker Alice said, where did you get the motion sensors and lights? We're going to be redoing our kitchen, and I want to make sure I can set up some of the lights. My mom likes your video of the pantry.
Good. So I
You got them off Amazon, right?
yeah, they're all off Amazon, and in my Amazon shop, amazon.com/shop/theblindlife, which there's a link in the description. There's a lighting section. I created a whole section for lighting, and in there I've got a bunch of different strips, and the ones I used, and the motion sensing and closet strips that we have in our linen closets. So when you open the door, it just lights up. Works really well too. So yeah, you could find them all in there. But yeah, I just get them off of Amazon. And I think the one we got was like $12. They're not expensive at all.
Yeah, we didn't spend a lot of money on it at all.
No.
Sarat2 is asking about orientation mode on the Orcam, that it keeps telling them there are no objects detected. You didn't have that problem, did you?
I haven't tested it in quite a while. And I think when I tested it for my video, I think it was still in beta. So I'm not sure how well it's working now. You know, those things, some of these features are kind of what I would call gimmicky. You know, they have the best intentions, but it's extremely difficult. You know, with if you say, okay, teach this device to recognize a coffee cup. Well, it's gonna, you know, how many different shapes coffee cups are there out there? We have coffee mugs that look like cat heads. You know, technically this is a coffee cup. So it's got to be really difficult for this thing to be able to recognize every single type of coffee mug out there, coffee cup out there. So, you know, they do their best, but you have to expect some things aren't just really going to work in everyday practical use.
James also said that there was a recent announcement that Ira is coming to the Blind Shell Classic 2.
Yes, it actually is. I watched a clip from NFB, a TikTok from NFB, their New Orleans conference that happened like 2 weeks ago, and it was Ira talking about Blind Shell, Ira featuring on the Blind Shell Classic 2, which is really cool. That's something that when I worked with them, I initiated that whole process. You know, I was like, you got to get Ira, we got to get the Bard on here, we got to get Script Talk. There's a lot of things that I would love to see on the phone, and started those whole processes. So I'm pretty excited to see it finally happening.
Shane Baker said, I would love to see the odd interview with different vision impaired people and the types of jobs that they do. You're really interesting to know what type of employment solution, which I have suggested multiple times.
Yeah, and I've done kind of videos like that. I did.
It's been a little while though.
Yeah, the difficult part is arranging all that, but I
definitely feel like we should though.
Yeah, I should just do it like as a live stream or something. Would make it maybe a little bit easier. I wouldn't have to edit.
Yeah, and a lot of that would depend on the comfort level of the person.
Yeah. I did a video with a couple other blind people. Derek Daniel was one of them, actually, talking about when to disclose your vision impairment or disability in general to a potential employer. You know, do you do it at the beginning? Do you wait till you have the job? So it was an interesting video as well, just to get their perspective on it. Had a nice little mix of professional levels in that call.
Yeah, I think it would be great to do have a playlist of interviews like that, and also I think it would be great to highlight some blind-owned businesses.
Yeah, I do have a playlist called Friends, where I usually stick videos like that, talking to other blind people and things like that. So, but yeah.
Nancy is wanting to know, where can you buy the OmniSense cane? Or the OmniSense tip?
It's sold through the Low Vision shop in Maryland. lowvisionshop.com, I believe.
And you don't have to go to Maryland. You can go online.
I may have a link. I may have a link in my
like, a
description,
discount
video
code or
description. I
anything?
might have a discount code as well. I'll double check, and if it's not in there, I will add it in after this video. So if you're gonna purchase one, wait a day or two, and then you can check it out. Look in the video description.
CB is loving the light strip idea for closets and said maybe you could make a short video demonstrating basic installation. Like, it's so basic. He got, for the inside the closet, he got the type that is
Adhesive.
sticky. It's like a sticker basically, and he just ran it along the inside of the door frame.
Yeah,
And then you did put sticky Velcro or something on the control thing of it, right?
Yeah, to hold it. But I did a dedicated video for the pantry lights. And in there, I do kind of walk through the whole process. So check that out. And if you have any more questions, send me an email. I'll be happy to give you more. But it is pretty straightforward. The one I got, you could either do batteries or it had a plug. And so I actually drilled a hole, or we already had a hole going through there into our next room for a different cable. It was actually for internet cabling, and I ran the plug through there and then plugged it into an outlet right next to the hole in the other room. But other than that, it's really, really simple installation.
Trudy was asking about if we see buses here, the buses here for transportation, and we do. Sam uses them. Not every day, but right now they're really short-staffed, so the waits are really long.
Well, do you mean public transportation or
I think she means
paratransit?
I think she means like the paratransit.
Yes, yeah, paratransit. It's called Red Cross Wheels here in the town we live in, and they are the wait times are insane right now. One lady waited an hour for her ride the other day, or about an hour and a half, really. So, but it's just because nobody wants to drive right now.
Hold on, I need to remove someone.
Okay.
Okay.
So just to give you guys a heads up while Rachel's looking, I do have this next week's video is going to be about this 5-inch digital video magnifier that is much more affordable than what we've seen before. So you guys can stay tuned to that.
Sorry guys, I think I got that bot out of the chat. Let me know if it comes up again, but on my screen it's not coming up anymore. So
is it a bot?
Yeah, naked-hd.xyz with a fire symbol.
It's one of my sponsors.
Tired of being alone? We'll help you.
Those are one of my sponsors. Oh, YouTube.
Magic KSA said, I am a sound editor and music composer. How if I want to recommend you some products related to video, especially to the sound in the video?
Yeah, absolutely. Give me you can send me an email, sam@theblindlife.net, N-E-T. I'm always looking to improve my audio. I've had some very, very helpful people point out how bad it is sometimes. So
wanting to improve audio without spending a fortune to improve the audio, that.
That'd be very helpful, though. Thank you.
Sarah, I know you keep asking about the Orcam. I haven't read it repeatedly because Sam is not an Orcam expert. I really think you need to reach out to the manufacturer with those questions because he doesn't know why it's doing that, why it's saying no relevant objects detected. Like he said, sometimes, they're not perfect, but if you're getting it all the time, there may be an issue with your unit, and you should really contact the manufacturer about that.
Yeah, it's also something I don't use. I have Orcam, but I mainly just use it for reading. I don't use it for anything else. So it's not something I run into, really. Yeah. I haven't used it literally since I made the video over a year ago.
Yeah, which is kind of weird because like you don't even use it for reading very much, do you?
I do. It's.
Oh, do you? Okay.
I use the Reed, which I've got right here. I don't wear the Orcam on the glasses. I use the Reed. It's just more convenient for me. But I take it to work quite often and use it there. I need to take it with us more to like restaurants and stuff.
Mike, let me know about my audio. He said my audio got really soft and they could barely hear me. And I wonder, I'm sitting on the floor and I changed positions, like switched my legs to the other side. I may have just gotten too far away. So I've moved again. So let me know if it's still difficult to hear.
Oh, wait a minute. Oh, yeah, you're still on here.
Mike was saying that digital magnifiers, I've lost it now, but basically that they are fragile, that they break easily. And then someone else said the one you were holding up looks pretty durable, but maybe you'll talk about that in your video, or if not, what are your thoughts? Do you think they're fragile?
Yeah, I do talk about some have the pop-out stand on the back, and I do, mention in certain videos if that seems like it might be a little, flimsy, and you might want to be careful with that. I'm not sure about how fragile they are, but once again, it's not something I use all the time, so I'm not a hardcore digital magnifier user. This one is pretty durable. There are coming up very soon too. I did get one of those Amazon super cheap digital magnifiers, and I'm going to be doing a review of it, just because I wanted to see what a Chinese brand super cheap magnifier would get you, and if it does really make it more sense to spend a little extra money on a higher quality magnifier. So that will be coming. I'm not going to spoil anything, but that'll be coming out in the future.
Apparently, I'm echoing.
Oh, goodness.
They said I sound like a ghost. It says Rachel's audio is echoing. I think it's picking up Sam's mic too or something, but I don't think it's...
Yeah, let me see. Let me get back into...
So another question so Magic KSA was asking about the Sony camera with the screen reader and how accessible it is. What are the things that can be read? And it's very limited right now. I do know that. Did you talk about specifics of it in that video you made, Sam?
I did. I made a whole video.
Yeah, so you might want to check out that video. He has a video specifically. I can't remember what it's called.
Just yeah.
Something about being a game changer or something. Sometimes I forget which is this thumbnail, what says on the thumbnail versus what the title of the video is.
The thumbnail says Sony A7 IV. I can look at the actual thing here.
Yeah, but that video, right now, it's not a lot. Like, when Sam realized there was a screen reader on it, like, he purchased the camera, not knowing that. And then he came up to, like, start playing around with it and getting it set up. And he came down literally almost in tears. Like, he was so happy when he realized there was a screen reader, not screen reader, what do you call it? Yeah, screen reader on it. And then quickly realized, oh, it's only in like one menu or whatever. But he has since then talked to people at Sony, and they're working on it. Like, this was basically the introduction, and they have plans of expanding that. So
yeah, so the name of it is Sony A7 IV. The feature nobody's talking about, but could be the most important. Yeah, it only reads certain settings, and everything else it just beeps on and just beep 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 as you go through the menu. So it's definitely not fully developed, but they are working on it.
Yeah, I mean, at least it's on their radar, right?
Yeah.
Kevin Klepp says, late to the stream, but have you talked about or checked out Blind Square before?
Yeah, just give me a second.
Okay.
Oh yeah, you are a little echoey.
What would cause that?
It probably is catching mine. You may want to angle, see where you're talking like more towards the wall, maybe. Go get in the corner over there.
I can't. The mic won't stretch too much further.
Is the mic? Yeah.
Okay, let's see if this works any better. I changed positions a little bit.
I'm kind of echoing too, though. I think it is just both of our mics are picking up each other.
Someday we'll figure out the best way to do audio on these live streams.
Yeah.
Someday.
Yeah, it's not too bad. You do sound kind of ghostly. Yeah, I'm sorry, guys. We'll just have to kind of live with it. So what was the question for Mike? I can go back and listen.
I forgot already. Sorry, guys.
Brief pause.
Give us just a minute here as we try to figure out our technical difficulties and try to remember what we were
Oh, here it is.
going to say.
Oh, it was Kevin asking about Blind Square.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, Blind Square.
So, I'm very, very familiar with Blind Square because it's kind of an old school app and very popular for navigation, although I've never used it myself because it's not free. And, you know, I'm probably not going to use it. So I would be buying it just for like doing a review, which I mean, I guess I could, but it's like $20. And ultimately I'm kind of cheap, but I have heard everybody that I know that uses it really, really likes it and it works really well. So I'm sure I would recommend it if I were ever to try it. I think only available on iOS though, if I'm not mistaken. Something to consider.
Mark Noah Sotelo said if this was a Halloween stream, it would be awesome.
It does sound kind of spooky. Maybe if we don't talk so loud. We don't need to talk as loud.
Okay, I'll try not to talk so loud.
Yeah.
Blind Toes is here. Says your hair needs to be brushed a little bit more.
Thanks, Toes. You talking about the hair on my head? It was really long while there.
Talisha says she thinks I'm a lovely ghost and not to worry.
Yes, she's my favorite ghost. I did trim my beard up recently. It's not as bushy as it has been in the last couple months.
The power of THW said I never paid for Blind Square and I've been using it.
Well, see, now you gotta make me eat crow here if I look it up. Search Blind Square on the Play Store or app. Oh, sorry.
I was just gonna ask, is it for Android too or just Apple?
I think it's just Apple. Search the app. Search the App Store for Blind Square.
Okay, searching for Blind Square on the App Store.
Okay. Maybe I'm thinking of a different one. Okay, Blind Square. No. Yeah, Blind Square. There we go. Yeah, it's Oh, let me zoom in. Someone else is going to say it on there before I ever get to it here. $40.
$40 is it one time, I guess, or it's not a subscription, hopefully, at that price.
One time.
Yeah, Molly said I used to love using WeWalk app until they went to a subscription model and didn't include the cost in the notification.
Yeah, I know. When I heard that they were thinking about doing that, like last year, a couple months ago, I was pretty upset about that because I liked WeWalk. I thought it was a great app.
Yeah.
But yeah, look, I just checked. Blind Square is $40.
So whoever's using it for free, share your secrets.
Yeah, for real.
Okay, we been on here about an hour. If anyone has anything else they are just really itching to find out about, let us know before we wrap things up. And Sam has been taking notes on things that people have told him that he should try and stuff.
Yes.
So he'll do that, and I'm going to spearhead him getting in touch with some different people that we know to do some interviews about different jobs that people have. And I think it's important too, like, we know people who are like super well educated that have like these amazing jobs. So I think it's really important for just like everyday people too.
Yeah.
You know, like, just I think we need to get more blind people employed.
Yeah. I mean, I've got good friends that is like their mission, and their goal is to lower that unemployment rate.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm gonna call Nikon after the live stream and see if I can get me a camera.
Franny Smith just said, I guess I'm different because both of you sound just fine to me, but then I'm a vampire. I can't see myself in the mirror anymore. Does that qualify for a blind joke?
Yeah, she mentioned that in the Zoom call the other day, that she says she calls herself a vampire because she can't see herself in the mirror, and I said that was fantastic. I love that.
Blind Survival was asking if we have any recommendation for any air fryers for blind people, and we have an air fryer. We rarely use it. I don't know if you've actually used it without me ever.
No, because I can't see the buttons.
Is that the issue? That's what they're saying, is that a lot of it's touchscreen, which I don't think ours is touchscreen, but you don't know the buttons yet.
No.
I think ours, we could put bump dots on it.
Yeah.
But we use it so infrequently that you would have to like spend some time to memorize the buttons like you do on our microwave and stuff.
Yeah, and I know air frying is kind of hot right now. Everybody's doing it, at least if you go by TikTok. Maybe there's some air fryers that use apps or are connected to the A-Lady that you could, use your voice to control. That'd be fantastic. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. Air fryers. We have a Instant Pot, which is not really an Instant Pot. It's kind of a generic version of Instant Pot. Yeah. And we like that. Works amazing for like whole chickens and turkeys. We've done our Thanksgiving turkey in the Instant Pot before, and it just falls apart. I mean, it's not the prettiest thing in the world, but...
Yeah. Warren Scott said, I'm legally blind and am an admin support specialist for the state of Oregon. Warren, you should shoot Sam an email.
Yeah.
At sam@theblindlife.net, right?
Yep.
Shoot him an email and maybe in the subject put interviewing blind careers or something like that, so it stands out to him, and he'll get back to you, because that would be awesome if you're interested in possibly being interviewed, that is. Ken, I see your message now that says, did you ever see any of my messages? Did you have a question that I didn't read? It's hard to keep up with all of it.
Now I wonder if that's why, if you ever see some radio stations, they'll do video of their airings, their live airings, and you always see there's somebody in a booth separated from other people, and I wonder if that's to cut down on echo.
Probably.
Yeah.
Talisha said she also has vampire eyes because they can't handle any sunlight.
That might be it. We may be vampires, guys. We're not blind. We're vampires.
You're like part of this slowly
we're the next
evolving
We're the next
race
evolution
of
of humankind. Yeah. That's awesome. I feel a new shirt design coming on.
Lynn Rivera was talking about would love to see a survey of independent blind people, and like, where do independent people live and how is the public transit? And that's a huge issue.
Yeah.
It's huge. I do feel like that's one thing that COVID has helped, that so many jobs have become
remote
things that you can do, remotely from home. But in order to do any of those jobs, you will have had to master the accessibility on your computers or phones or whatever to be able to do most of them, because most of them are online. But
yeah, and especially where we live here in Kentucky, there's a lot of rural areas, and so I work with people all the time that public transportation is a real struggle for them because they just live in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah.
And if you don't have a support system to help with that, you're kind of stuck.
And Angel said, now we know. Fangs anyone? Talisha said, I wondered if you know anyone who uses a walking stick instead of a cane. I prefer it because it can catch me if I fall. However, other people don't pick up on the blind diagnosis. But don't they make walking canes that have the white and red?
Yeah, so they're stability canes. So they help your stability. Just a traditional regular cane shape like you would see, a senior citizen using or something. They have those that are white and red, like markings of a traditional white cane. So they help with stability, but they also identify you as visually impaired. So yes, they do have those. Probably places like Maxi Aids, LS&S, those companies will have them. I'm sure you could find them on Amazon, but you'd probably have to search for specific keywords. They even have, there was an outdoorsy person who asked a question. They even have, there's a new cane coming out on the market, and I'm probably going to get one to make a video about it as soon as it's available, but it is for hiking. It is designed for off-road hiking. So it is a white cane, but is much more, it's kind of like if a trekking pole and a white cane had a baby, this is what it would be. So stay tuned for that. Pretty cool.
Ken said that he's looking forward to the Orbit Speak coming out this year. Are you familiar with the Orbit Speak?
I'm familiar with the Orbit. Not necessarily a new one coming out, but that'd be pretty cool.
Yeah, and Eloquence coming to iOS and iPad OS.
Yeah.
Eniko said, have you thought about using a signature guide to sign your name so you won't have to look down at the paper? And yes, he does. If there's like forms that you need to fill out or something, you'll use that sometimes.
Yep, I carry one in my wallet. I've got one in the car. Where I work at the Bluegrass Council of the Blind, we give those out. We have a big stack that people can take, and they have our contact information on them and stuff. So yeah, we use those quite often. Old school technology.
And then Glenn also said, when we were talking about transportation and jobs and stuff, said, I'm looking at quality of life. You want to get out and do stuff. And that's true.
Yeah, I was talking with a guy the other day. We're working with him at the center where I work, and we're trying to get him hooked up with an iPad. We give out iPads if someone needs them. And he has one, and it stopped working, so we were going to get him a new one. But he lives, and I said, can you come pick it up? And he lives out in the middle of nowhere. He said there's only cows around him, nothing around him. He lives by himself. And so we're like racking our brains. None of us drive either because we're all visually impaired. So we're like, how can we get this product to him? How can we get him in here to the office? And it's got to be so isolating, being stuck in a situation like that where you're at home by yourself and you can't leave. There's nowhere to go.
Yeah.
It's got to be tough.
Someone had suggested you doing a video comparing NVDA to narrator.
Yeah, so I've actually never done a full screen reader, computer screen reader video, mainly because they're such big programs. It's like I could do kind of an introduction to and the basics of it, but if you're gonna go deep dive into that program, you control the entire computer with that program. So there's really no way to do a full video about it without it being like a hour-long video or something. So a comparison might be a little bit easier, but so that's probably kind of why I've never done a full video on those things. A video of like Windows Magnifier, it's easy. I can show that. There's only a couple things it does. But yeah, narrator or JAWS or something like that, they're such big programs. It's always been a struggle for me to figure out how to do that.
Blind Toes has suggested that if you eat a Carolina Reaper during a live stream, your hair would grow. And then he also wants to know when we will see a Drunk Sam stream.
We almost had one recently. I was drinking I was drinking like a cider or something throughout the whole thing, and by the end of it, I was feeling pretty good.
We don't drink a lot. I
No.
can't remember the last time I saw you actually drunk.
No, I had a margarita. We went out last night, Rachel and I, and went to a taco place, and I had a margarita, and I almost couldn't walk.
Nuh-uh.
After
That's
the one
That is not
margarita.
true. You were not walking weird at all.
No, but it was definitely like, whew, feeling pretty good. I'm such a lightweight.
It was a decent sized margarita
It was
too.
a very good margarita. It's peach margarita. But yeah, maybe we should do that. We could have the Blind Life After Dark live stream, and we'll just sit here and drink and eat peppers. Apparently, Blind Toes has been trying to get me to eat a pepper for quite a while now. I still have Carolina Reapers in the freezer from last year. I grew some, and so maybe we'll do it someday. I'm scared. That's the honest truth.
Micah said, I'm pretty sure I'm a cyclops because only one of my eyes work.
Yeah, we're just all kinds of monsters, aren't we? Vampires and cyclops, and like the Fates. Who are they on Clash of the Titans? They had to use the eye. They each had to share the eye. I can't see anything without my little eye here.
Molly said, I'm more of a pirate than a cyclops. I have two eyes, but only one really works. And Ken suggests that narrator is better on a Microsoft Surface.
Narrator's come a long way. It used to be kind of the laughing stock of the screen reader world. It was, honestly. But they've really improved it quite a bit.
Okay, I think I've gotten through most of the questions. I'm sure I missed some, and I'm sorry, guys. It's really hard to keep up.
Yeah.
So I try to hit most of them, and I can't. I know some of them are just comments, and I know there's a couple in there of people just thanking Sam for the videos he's made and just the help that he's provided, and I will definitely have him. I'll read him those later, but just didn't have time to read them all out loud on here.
Well, I appreciate it, everybody. It's my pleasure.
All right, I think we're good. I think we've done it, and we will try. You know what? I'm gonna sit down today and try to determine when the next live stream will be.
We'll do a schedule.
And we will put it on the calendar and announce it in the community thing more than 24 hours in advance.
Yeah.
So.
Yes, we'll do that. And so you guys stay tuned for the next talk back with the Blind Life. That's kind of a similar feel. Us just sitting around chatting and answering questions, but answering comments, but not live. It's kind of a video podcast is how I'm kind of how I see it. That will be around the first week of every month we do that. And it's also a giveaway. We do a giveaway at that during that talkback video.
Yeah, so Sam usually doesn't put that in the title or anything, but the goal is every talkback video is going to have a giveaway, and then we announce the winner from the last giveaway also. So,
yeah.
And some months are going to be bigger than others, but some of them are pretty nice.
Fran in here was a winner of a talkback giveaway recently, so congratulations to her. Yeah, so it's as long as we have stuff to give away, we will do giveaways. So we appreciate that. Appreciate all the support from everybody. Thank you, anybody that is a member, like Fran. She's a member, and she joined me on the monthly members only live stream.
And Mike in here is a member.
Mike, and if that's the same Ken, it might be Ken.
No, it's a different
Ken. Different
Yeah.
Ken. Okay, there is a Ken who's a member. If you are a member, definitely join us for the calls. It's usually 1 p.m. on the first Saturday of every month, and it's a Zoom call, so we're all in there. Everybody can talk and chit-chat and ask questions and all that.
And he finally got a paid subscription, so it doesn't get cut off at 40 minutes.
We're not getting booted off at 40 minutes anymore. So, yeah, information about becoming a member is listed in the description of all my videos. You can also go to the membership tab or the membership page on my YouTube channel. Thank you for all of that. I try to make the memberships as low as possible. In fact, you can
They are as low as you can.
As low as I can. Yeah, 99 cents a month or $4.99 a month. And if you're looking for other ways to help support the channel, everything is appreciated. There's also a little button, a new button underneath all the videos, a thanks button. It's right near where it says share. You can click on that and give a small donation if you'd like. Once again, all of that goes back into the video or into the channel to help support the channel. We appreciate that. What else? Merch. If you'd like to pick up some shirts like the I Can See But I Can't hashtag It's Complicated shirt and all the other low vision, the Blind Life YouTube themed shirts, all that information is down below as well. I sell them on Amazon and Spring.
And something completely free that you can do is if you watch Sam's videos but you haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It helps him out. It's not like he gets money per subscriber, but it does, the more subscribers he has, the more likely YouTube is going to show his videos to other people.
Yeah.
And it's just cool to see that number go up.
Yeah. The little red button underneath the videos, that's the subscribe button, or on my YouTube channel.
And it costs you nothing.
And it's free to do that.
And you can once you subscribe, there's also that little bell that's next to that red button. And if you want to get notifications so that you know when new videos have come out, you can do that too.
Yeah. We appreciate that. And liking the videos helps the channel. And then leaving comments, all of that shows engagement, and it shows YouTube that it's an important channel, and it will help promote the channel out to more people. So we can help more people in the community. That's the goal, to help as many people as possible. So, and then of course, check out the website, theblindlife.net. All my latest videos get updated there in the videos tab or videos page of the website. And there's information about me and who I am and all that, and a way to connect with me through that website and all of that, and information about the merchandise also there. And that is really about it, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Any last things we need to address before we sign off?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, once again, guys, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you enjoy the rest of your Sunday, and have a good evening and all of that. And that's about it, right?
Yep.
Thank you, Rachel, for joining.
Coda just became a member.
Oh, thank you, Coda. Oh, yeah, I see that.
Got his little skull now.
Yes, you get to have the cool icon next to your name. That's another benefit of being a member. You get the little icon, and the icons change the longer you're a member. So we've got some members that have have the gold icon.
My icon has one blue and one red eye.
You've got the 3D glasses.
Oh, is that what that is?
Yeah.
Joe Ansman has red eyes.
Okay, he's got the aviators. See, they all have different glasses. That was the theme.
That's cool.
Sunglasses, yeah. But once you reach maybe a year, 12 months, you get the gold medallion.
How come I don't have that?
I don't know. We'll have to double check. Maybe you're not fully a year yet.
I joined immediately.
Maybe you're not as supportive as you think you are.
Maybe not.
Maybe there's no nepotism, right? No family members. You don't get special treatment.
All right. Let's end this thing.
All right. Thank you, guys.
Bye, everybody.
We'll see you next time.